What if I told you that Stanley Kubrick died just days after finishing his film about secret societies? Well, that's exactly what we're going to be talking about on this edition of Throwback Thursday. We're going to be reviewing the movie Eyes Wide Shut, starring Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman, so let's get right into it. Released in 1999, this is the final outing of the film director Stanley Kubrick before he passed away, and it stars Tom Cruise as Dr. Bill Hartford on a surreal and unsettling night through New York City after a provocative conversation with his wife Alice, played by Nicole Kidman. The film unfolds with a dreamlike tension pulling the viewer in as we explore the mysteries of secret societies and the psychological disturbances of one's own mind. Now let's get into some key takeaways that I have and explain a little bit because it's kind of a confusing film. Throughout the film is clearly slow and meant to build a lot of tension and really force you to think about what the characters are thinking in these moments. And there's definitely a lot of erotic events, I won't lie, but I say that, and it's not anything spicy. It's definitely more in an eerie kind of odd way that's unusual. And the film came out with mixed reviews. However, over time, it's kind of become a cult classic as people have really enjoyed going back and reviewing all the little minute details of the film. I think the film does a fantastic job of just stripping away oneself down to what they are as a true character. There is a clear moment where Tom Cruise is forced to stand before what is presumed to be the leader of this cult, and they emphasize the point in that moment, like, if you keep asking questions, we will end you. Like, we have ways to erase you to where you'll never exist, and that sparks intrigue but also a lot of fear. But that's all the boring stuff, so let's get into the lore of the movie. So, Stanley Kubrick died just 6 days after presenting his final cut to Warner Brothers, and some say that this is more than just an eerie coincidence, and that actually some sort of secret society did not like what he had done, and they took him out. The film does talk about secret societies a lot, and there is a rumor that Warner Brothers cut out 30 minutes of the film and also did some digital effects to mask over some of the more graphic parts of the film. So who's to say what really happened? Now, I'm not a conspiracy theorist myself, however, it does sound rather convincing that someone was unalived after they supposedly made a film about secret societies, and I don't know though, you'll have to take that as you will. But now let's talk about the psychological toll it took on Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman and how it could have potentially affected their real life marriage. First, the film was reported to have taken over 400 days, which would make it the longest continuous film shoot in the history of filmmaking. And it's said that Kubrick's perfectionism and controlling nature took a toll on these two lead actors. And they were even asked to live in sets built to look like the apartment, which blurred the line between reality and fiction. And a few years later, after the film was released, they got a divorce. So did Kubrick drive them apart, or was just a natural effect of being a Hollywood couple? So between secret societies, real-life relationship struggles, and Kubrick's eerily timed death, this movie has a lot to offer. However, I will not say it's for the faint of heart, so watch it at your own risk. Finally, I will give the film a 3.5 out of 5 Eyes Wide Shut. However, my Letterboxd only got a 3 out of 5, but I will leave you with this. Kubrick gave us the mirror. The question is, what version of yourself will you see staring back